All right, we are live. Hello. Welcome. Good evening. I know it's a late one, but we are here for episode 131 of the Below the O-Line podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Laney Pavlon. Alongside me tonight is my co-host, Justin Hebert.
Yep.
We might get some guests in this episode. We may not. I know I say that a lot, but hey, this is what amateurs doing a podcast for almost over 2 years looks like. So, yeah, let's get into the thick of it. Wow, Talladega Superspeedway, a lot of complicated stuff over there, I tell you.
Yep.
The racing at Talladega, you have to expect the unexpected, and the unexpected happened. It really happened all across the weekend. All the winners in each of the three series at Talladega, whether it's trucks or Xfinity or Cup, have only led a single-digit number of laps to get the win. Now, that speaks volumes about the nature of this kind of racing.
Yeah.
And boy, that was some aggressive action. We saw that today in the Cup Series. I mean, when it was getting close to the end of stage 2, and of course the wreck with Ryan Prix, which ultimately ended the race entirely, it looked like something wild was going to happen. And like, it was one of the craziest racing I've seen on the racetrack in quite some time.
Yeah.
And in the end, we get a first-time winner of Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace driving for 2311, the team owned by three-time Daytona 500 champion Denny Hamlin and NBA legend himself, Michael Jordan, who is a Charlotte resident, grew up in that area in North Carolina. So, you know, they came prepared for a NASCAR Cup Series team. It wasn't easy, but they're in victory lane now. And this trio, and think about, you know, Mike Wheeler being part of the executive board for 2311 Racing, and just all that goes together and how a team gets put. I mean, we just look at one full year ago, about this time a year ago, the announcement was made of where Bubba Wallace was going, what was going to happen. It was bizarre, some really polarizing stuff. And now he's a winner in the NASCAR Cup Series. We're going to talk about the way he won, the results of today's Yellowwood 500 at Talladega Superspeedway, and then we'll discuss the race and then Bubba Wallace. So let's get started with the results. Bubba Wallace only led 5 laps. I mentioned that before. The race ended on lap 117, but the highest amount of laps led was just 16 laps, and that speaks volumes of how competitive today's race was. We had a lot of lead changes in this one. We had 35 lead changes, which, again, this is Talladega at its finest with the pack racing that we get. Bubba Wallace led 5 laps. He started 19th, his first career win and the first win for 2311 Racing, this new team owned by Hamlin and Michael Jordan. So this is Denny Hamlin's first win as a car owner. And whether or not his driving career, you know, no matter how long his driving career lasts, we now know his team is definitely a fixture in the Cup Series, even before this win.
Yeah.
Let's continue on the results. Brad Keselowski. It looked like Keselowski was finally going to execute, and had the stage 2 end under green and that accident not happen, I expected him to be up front and possibly win this race. He led 13 laps, had great work with Joey Logano, who led 9 laps in this race. It looked like Logano and Keselowski were going to do something to work together in it. Unfortunately, Ryan Blaney was kind of the odd man out, a little bit surprising knowing how well he does at Talladega, but you know, had this race go 188 laps, I'm sure we would have seen a lot of those guys that didn't get the chance to run up front, save their stuff and run up front and possibly go for the win. Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace worked together towards the end of that race. And you know what? They're going to be teammates next year for 2311 Racing. And if that's not a great preview of those two working together, then I don't know what is. Kurt Busch led 9 laps today. He may not be in the championship hunt like Bubba Wallace. You know, Bubba Wallace is not being in the championship hunt either, but it shows you that Kurt Busch still has the fuel in the tank to be a competitive driver in the Cup Series. Christopher Bell rounded up the top 5 after leading 12 laps, and it looked like Christopher Bell had the race in his hands.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Bell and Hamlin had something really good going out there on the track.
Yeah.
something tells me if the stage were to end under green, stage 2 end under green, because we know for sure that it would have ended under green and the rain would have followed after that. It would have been a different order, I'd say. Chris Buescher had a great showing. He won stage 1, led 7 laps, started 24th. He is a great driver for Brad Keselowski to be working with next year. And I think Brad, when he becomes part owner of Roush Racing next year, it's going to absolutely help not only Brad's new team, but Chris Buescher himself. Great job on his part. And Denny Hamlin, an absolutely stellar team player. He might have started on pole by the Metro qualifying system, but he led 6 laps. He did a lot of helping for Christopher Bell, something that Kyle Busch is now going to have to work from behind it. Kevin Harvick can't afford a bad race, and you know what? He certainly did very well for where he's at in the championship. He made the most out of today, leading 16 laps, more than anybody else. And he started 9th, never really left the top 10 at all. And I'm sure if the race continued on more, he might have had a car capable of winning this race. And so could Eric Jones, who finished 9th. Good call by Richard Petty Motorsports to put Eric Jones up there and give him a car that can keep up with the pack. Same with Anthony Alfredo in the team that is owned by Bob Jenkins at Front Row Motorsports. The first ever top 10 for Anthony Alfredo's career. He led a lap in this race. It's his best ever finish in the Cup Series. Well done for the man they call Fast Pasta. Let's go on with the results outside the top 10, starting with Martin Truex Jr., who finished in 12th, a playoff driver leading 2 laps. Recovering from an accident, 12th place seems like a win, honestly. I mean, he had a car that kept up with the pack, but just wrong place, wrong time, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's go down the results even more. Colt Custer, an interesting showing for him this afternoon. He led 7 laps, started 28th, finished 13th. I'd say that was a good win for the year that Custer's having.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney. A lot of people expected him to be in the top 5 or won the race, but the 2-time winner had to sell for 15th. He never led a lap in this race, but at least survived it. Not everyone did, but at least Ryan Blaney was able to. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had a very great car, a fast car. In fact, we know he's going to join. He's going to stay with the team he joined last year in 2022. JGG Doherty Racing will sign Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for next year. He finished 16th, led 10 laps, and you know what? I'm sure he would have had a good car. I mean, a lot of guys would have had great cars if this race went full distance, but in the end, it was the weather. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I think he was working with Chase Elliott for most of the day, because they both have Hendrick Motorsports engines, and they got a lot of skills on these tracks. So it only made sense that they worked together. Speaking of Chase, he finished 18th and started 3rd. I guess wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. 20th place, Justin Haley driving for Colleague Racing. A little sneak peek of next year, Justin. So we see that the driver and team combination on track next year. Haley led 4 laps. He started 38th and run home in the top 20. Not a bad race. It's just unfortunate that you can't use the same car as this one for next year. Everybody's in new car configurations with the next gen.
Yeah.
That's another thing I completely forgot about in today's race is that you can't just save that equipment for next year. You can save a few pieces of equipment, but the whole car yourself, the whole car itself, nope.
Yeah, because the Gen 6 is different than the Gen 7. Gen 7 looks way different. It's going to drivers that test it say it handles different, so yeah, so Daytona, we're going to see different type of racing possibly with the new car compared to this car when 2022 comes around, which we're in October. The start of the season's in February. So it's going to be interesting.
You blink, it'll be February. You've seen that before. Let's continue on with the results. let's go down to Kyle Busch, who finished in 27. Now, he was involved in an accident, never recovered, led 4 laps, started second. Just an unfortunate race. Now, he's got a lot of work to do to stay in this championship fight. He's the last place, tied with Chase Elliott above the cut line. Beneath him, Cody Ware led 4 laps, had a great car. In fact, Wicker Racing really put a good car together for Rick's son, Cody Ware. And he ran as high as the lead, led 4 laps, had a car that could keep pace. And that's a little bit of a preview next year because we know the Wicker Racing is scaling back. Many other teams are going to be sold with their charters going, and they're going to focus on, I think, a 1 or 2 car project where they're going to really put all their money into. So expect faster cars from the team. There's your sneak peek for next year. I know we're not in the same car, but that's putting the right puzzle pieces together. Let's go down the leaderboard. Matt DiBenedetto led 2 laps. He was involved in a crash, taken out on lap 115. He finished 35th. That same wreck involved playoff driver William Byron. Now, William Byron's going to really have to work backwards. It was not the best day for Hendrick Motorsports.
Nope.
Now they have a lot of work cut out, and luckily most of their drivers are really good on the road courses, so I wouldn't be too worried, but still, that doesn't change the fact that you're placed where you are in the standings. Kyle Larson might be lucky, but I don't know. In terms of his season, that's not a lucky run at all. 3 laps. If the race went full distance, he could have finished higher than 37th. Unfortunate race for Alex Bowman as well. He led 1 lap, was taken out on the lap 97 crash, as was Tyler Reddick, who led 2 laps this afternoon. Justin Allgaier was taken out in another accident on lap 55. So there's your 40 car results. Now let's talk about the winner of this race, Bubba Wallace, and why this is so significant.
There's a few moments why it's significant for Bubba's win. Number 1, he is the first African-American driver to win since December 1st, 1963, when Wendell Scott won at Jacksonville. That's been a long time, almost 58 years since that win in the 1964 season.
That was actually right.
Yeah. Number 2, the first win for a number 23 in a points race since 1954, Al Keller at Georgia Speedway in 1954. It's been and last win for a non-points race was the Noble Sprint in 1998 was Jimmy Spencer in the number 23. Number 3, it's been since 1994 since McDonald's won as a primary sponsor on a race car. Yeah, and also 2 years ago, do you want to know what happened 2 years ago? A first time a new team won a cup race. Spire Motorsports back in 2019. This year, 2311 Racing did the same thing. New team getting their first one. Yeah, that too.
New team in their debut season.
Yeah, that's what they mean. Yeah, Spire and now 2311s did it. Like, that's really interesting about. Yeah, it's
2 seasons, 3 new teams going to victory lane. If the future's bright, I don't know what to tell you.
Woo.
And a lot of people made some wrong predictions. And now that between the announcement of Team Trackhouse purchasing Chip Ganassi Racing for the Cup Series next year, a lot of people said, "Oh, they're going to go for victory lane before
2311 Racing." Well, that's not good. Yeah,
and they're still both single.
Yep, which Bubba really ran a solid race in that 23 car at Talladega. When he got up front, I knew him, like, if the rain comes, I knew he was going to have a shot at the win if the rain was, because the rain was near the track,
I saw the moment he started creeping up to the front with Kurt Busch behind him, like, oh, that outside line train is coming. And not to mention, he had to be bold, go 3 wide. Kurt was kind of left out there, and when I saw the Keselowski-Logano pair moving to the top, I was like, oh, okay. Bubba could try this, but it's not going to work in his favor. They're going to go for themselves. They almost did. They just the wreck that brought the yellow before the stage 2 ended that for the Team Penske duo.
Yep. And then the rain came. It was just the waiting game, basically. Remember, they're all there waiting, like, come on. And then we were waiting until
once lightning came into the picture.
Yeah.
Then we knew it was problematic, and NASCAR was going to have to be the one to just close the curtain on today.
Yeah, and also they said that they didn't want to try to dry the track. One other reason. It takes so long to dry Talladega. Remember, they have seams. The water seeps out the seams. Also, they would have not had the track dry in time before darkness because Talladega, has no lights. The sun goes down at 6:25 Central Time, which is local time, 7:25 Eastern. It takes you know how big Talladega is? It's 2.66 miles. It takes a long time to dry that type of track. So they couldn't do it. The cell was getting bigger. But I remember, Joseph, we were on the Skype call. Remember, we were racing to lap 94, which was halfway. We had to get to the 94th lap, and we did. And we're like, okay, the race can be official if it rains. It was an interesting event. My pick, Justin Allgaier, crashed with Kyle Larson on that. Kyle Larson got the damage from that wreck with Allgaier, but Allgaier, his car was heavily crashed, so he was
he was the only retirement from that accident.
Yep, and that 77 for Spire. It was Tyler Reddick was stuck in the grass. That wreck with Bowman? He was actually stuck in the grass. That's why he was out. He couldn't get the car out.
He said just, I'm going.
Yeah.
I want to go back home. You know what? A lot of teams want to go back home because it's their home race. They don't have the burdens of traveling across America for this one.
Yeah, they're at
outside of Concord.
Yeah, they're at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Roval. But then after that, they got to travel back to the west. Texas, then Kansas, then Martinsville, then back to the west.
So it's like going here, and then Martinsville, and then Phoenix.
Yeah, because they have remember, Kansas and Texas swap dates. Texas is a week earlier, so Texas.
It makes sense. It makes sense because Texas is on the way westward.
Yeah, and then they got to go to Kansas. Then they go back to the east at Martinsville. Then go back to the west for Phoenix. But at least we got Talladega done and over it. But then we got the Charlotte Roval, which that's going to be... I think
it's good that they got Martinsville to Phoenix because...
Yeah.
I think it's good that they go from, Kansas to Martinsville to Phoenix because everybody can have one last week near their area before they go west to compete for a championship.
Yeah, because Martinsville is not like Virginia is not far from North Carolina. An example. Remember, the 2018 Martinsville race. Remember that snowstorm? Most drivers went back home to North Carolina, and then they head back in the morning, early morning, to get to the track. Yeah, but the points. There's only
let's talk about the points. And it's so close. No one's safe. I don't think we're going to see guys clinching spots between the start of the race before the finish. I don't think anyone's going to clinch until the finish of next week's race.
The only
Unless
one
a lot of retirements happen from everybody.
I don't know. We'll see about the Roval. Like I was saying, there's only one driver locked in, Denny Hamlin, the winner from Vegas, the only one that could just relax through the Roval race. Everybody else, they have to worry.
Yep, 3,116 points for Hamlin. He's locked in. Really, what a time to be Denny Hamlin right now, that's for sure. Kyle Larson, plus 22, put up the cut line. His poor showing at Talladega, unfortunately, or poor luck, should I say, is going to put him in a vulnerable position at the Charlotte Motor Speedway road course. But here's the good news. He's won twice on road courses this year. We'll talk a little bit more about the other drivers. Joey Logano He really could have used the win. He's plus 21 over the cut line. Same could be said about Brad Keselowski, plus 20 above the cut line. They were close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr. luckily had a car that was capable of recovering. Otherwise, it would have been worse. He's plus 20 above the cut line. But then again, you can lose just as many points going into the next race. Ryan Blaney, 15 points above the cut line. He won the inaugural race of the road at Charlotte, the road course at Charlotte, Roval, as they call it. Chase Elliott is the two-time defending winner. A lot of people are keeping their eye out on him. His number of points matches the car number. Kyle Busch, who has some very bad luck on Charlotte Motor Speedway's newly built road course entering its 4th year of competition, is 9 points above the cut line. So Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott tie for 7th and 8th. And then 9th place beneath the cut line with 9 points behind is Kevin Harvick. And Kevin Harvick had the best race possible at Talladega. A win would have been very sweet, but he just needed to survive to have enough points to take advantage of a road course race like Sunday's. Christopher Bell. Do you see why Denny Hamlin worked hard with Bell today? He's 28 points beneath the cut line. A win would have thrown him right in a great spot for the next round because Bell was already in a major deficit going into this race. In fact, his finish of 24th at Las Vegas certainly didn't help at all. Nope. It may not be recoverable. We'll see what happens. What is irrecoverable might just be the situation of William Byron, 44 points beneath the cut line. Very unfortunate for William Byron. The past 2 races in this round have been just abysmal. No finishes above 18th. And then Alex Bowman took a huge blow in the championship. He needed a good recovery after Las Vegas when he finished 22nd, and a 38th place finish at Talladega puts him 52 points beneath the cut line. Pretty much he's got to have to win that one.
Yeah, because the maximum points is 48. So so he has to win it. But the only good thing he has an average finish of 4.67 at the Roval. Good average finish, 4.6, but it's not like Chase Elliott's average finish.
Who could finish 3rd, 2nd, and 1st?
Literally, Bowman's average finish is the 2nd best Hendrick driver, 4.67, while Chase Elliott's a 2.67 average finish. So it's gonna be hard to beat Chase Elliott at the Roval if people don't remember. Not last year. Remember 2019. Remember 2019 when Remember 2019 when people thought Chase Elliott made the biggest mistake? Or was it 2019?
He still won.
Yeah, after hitting the tire barrier in the first corner like Brad Keselowski did the year before in 2018. But we thought he choked it, but nope, he came back and won. But yeah, so that was Talladega. Interesting. Whew. But next race is the Roval.
I think final road 2311's got to be excited for this.
Yep, they got the Roval, then the round of 8, which has Texas, Kansas, Martinsville, then Phoenix, then the off season. Then they head to 2022 with the new car. It's going to be interesting seeing the
new Coliseum for the Clash.
Oh, jeez, I forgot on the Sunday, February 6th, the Clash. It's better than Islip Speedway. Do you want to know what's the worst part? NASCAR used to race there. Do you want to know how bad that track was? Do you want to know how the back markers knew when to take the green flag? They can see the leaders take it in the rear view mirrors. That's how small that track was, so they can see the leaders taking it behind, so they knew when to go.
43 NASCAR Xfinity cars on Bowman Gray Stadium in NR 2003. AI cars. I know that feeling in my Speedway.
Yeah, so
all right.
But other than that, so that was Talladega. Really interesting. I knew it was going to be interesting. I know the rain was. I knew people didn't want the rain, but at least we got the race in, not like Texas in 2020 where it took till Wednesday to complete.
My gosh, I thought my head was going to explode that week. I don't know how it got through that one.
But
yeah, I was going to say, like, if they couldn't get today's racing, we would have had 2 podcasts to mention for the Cup race. But at least we don't have to deal with that burden.
But also, we had another race Saturday. We had 2 races Saturday, but we had another first-time winner in the Xfinity Series race.
Yes, let's bring that up. Let's talk about everything that happened at Talladega on Saturday. And I just want to say, anybody that doubts Bubba Wallace, time's up. Get yourself a better argument, because he certainly earned that one. And there's no question about it. It wasn't given to him. This wasn't some kind of Justin Haley situation.
No.
This wasn't David Rudiman, the 2009 Cup winner. He fought to the lead and stayed there to when the caution came out of rain. Now, I don't know about some of you guys that are missing a few teeth in the Facebook comment section, that are complaining about this, about Bubba Wallace. But I just want to say to you people, I want you to get in a stock car and do what Bubba Wallace tried to do today. It wouldn't happen. So there we go. Sorry to get my few extra words out there. I had to say what needs to be said.
Well, now that they can say that because Facebook is fixed now. Yes, Facebook had issues.
Yeah, Facebook is back and running.
And Instagram. Yeah, they fixed Instagram too. So, but other than saying about that,
yeah, anything that Zuckerberg owns is running. Now, this isn't a political news commentary channel, but I'm just glad to see that Facebook stocks are going down, and you should be glad too. Let's move on and talk about the Xfinity Series and get back into motorsports.
Yep, it was Saturday.
Brandon Brown wins.
Yep, Brandon Brown for his family team, BrandonBuilt Motorsports, finally gets his first career win. Oh, it felt good to see him win. I wanted him to win so badly. Like, I've been cheering him on for a while. I'm like, can he please win? He finally got it. Oh, come on. The Toronto Maple Leafs just scored. Now it's 2-1 for the Maple Leafs. Oh, come on. Come on, Ottawa. You got to beat them.
As you can tell, hockey's back.
Yeah, 1:25 left in the third. Other than talking about World of Hockey Media. But other than that, Brandon Brown, he had a good car. Stayed up front when he needed to.
Yeah, let's go through the results one by one in this event. A lot to break down from this race. Brandon Brown, likewise Bubba Wallace, only led a single-digit amount of laps. Just 8 laps he led. Started 19th, same position as Bubba Wallace did, to get his first career win, driving his family-owned Team 68 Chevrolet. And he got his first career win. We'll talk about Brandon Brown in a minute. Let's go to the results. Brandon Jones started in 7th. He needed to win. He was so close from getting it because the caution came out when they were neck and neck, which turned out to be the final caution when they had a wreck behind him. Brandon Jones led 12 laps, started in the 7th spot. Justin Allgaier, 3rd, led 7 laps, started 1st. 4th place, Daniel Hemrick stayed out of trouble to get a good point state. Give a call to Jordan Anderson. Jordan Anderson started 29th to get his best career finish of 5th in his own team. This is also his team's best finish in the Cup Series. Well done to Jordan Anderson. We've seen a lot of
Cup Series
in the Xfinity Series. Thanks for getting to me.
I was about to say, what are you predicting Jordan Anderson is going to be a Cup team in the future or something?
Yes, he will. That's going to happen.
But yeah, solid run for Jordan Anderson. Like top 5. Like he is a rookie in Xfinity because he didn't have many starts. But still, top 5, solid run for that 31 team of Jordan Anderson. Remember, beginning of the season, they kept missing races because, owner points, they had none after Daytona's shenanigans with the rain. So they missed races. But now when they have enough points, they're in every race now, which is really good for Jordan Anderson's team. So solid top 5 for Jordan Anderson.
All right, let's continue on the results. As you can see, I'm really tired, so I'm making verbal mistakes. 6th place, Justin Haley. Started 8th. 7th place, Jeb Burton. His playoff teammate started 14th. Only 2 out of 3 colleague racing cars had good days, unfortunately. Jed Burton led 10 laps, or 7 laps. Austin Cindric led 10 laps from starting second. Josh Berry led 3 laps to finish 9th. And Joe Graff Jr., how about him? Career best finish of 10th, driving for Bobby Darter, led a lap in the race, started dead last.
And secretly Joseph's favorite driver. Oh, come on. Now Toronto just scored. That was 3-1. Come on, Toronto. Oh, Toronto just won. They scored with a couple seconds left, and now it's 0. So, yep, they won. Oh, come on. Really? Otto had to lose a home game, too. Toronto.
Well, as they say, you want to be bad, you got to lose to the Leafs. P11, Ryan Sieg, not a bad run. Let's go down. Blaine Perkins, give a call to this guy. He won stage 2, driving for Hours Motorsports, just leading 2 laps, one of which was the stage win. Started 23rd to get a career best finish of 13th.
Yeah, Blaine Perkins, he's a rookie. He ran the.
Don't forget about him in this race.
He used to drive the number 6. Or, no, the 9 car for Bob Roncati in the West Series. Remember, he used to be the West Series driver for the teammate to Trevor Hullston. Now that's Jake Drew in his ride. But Blaine Perkins, I knew who he was, and I've seen him race in the West Series. He's a competitive driver, and him doing that at Talladega, leading 2 laps and winning the stage, really impressive run for his.
And he had a fast car, too. Whatever Hours Motorsports did, they did a brilliant job to give the team some fast cars.
Yep.
Let's continue on down the results. After Blaine Perkins, we'll look at Alex LeBay, who led 1 lap and finished 21st. He started 32nd. 1 position behind him, John Hunter Nemechek, who's competing for a Truck Series championship for satellite team Kyle Busch Motorsports, led 8 laps, won stage 1, and finished 22nd. It was not the best run for the 54 in the owner's points hunt. However, he did get collected in one of the incidents towards the end and never got a chance to recover as the track got dark.
Yeah.
In 24th, we had Jeremy Clements. Jeremy Clements competing for a championship. Started in 15th. He's in the playoffs. Not a good run at all in terms of his expectations for Talladega. Now we go to the retirements. Yep. Harrison Burton led 2 laps, started 9th, finished 25th, and he's a playoff driver. Now, not in the playoffs is Brett Moffitt. He led 3 laps, started 16th, crashed out on lap 101 to finish, get credited with a 26th place finish. Riley Herbst had a great showing on Saturday, leading 26 laps, starting 13th. Yeah, very good run for him, and he needed one for his confidence, but it ended in a wreck on lap 101. He was credited with 27th. Let's go down the list. We get Noah Gregson, who led 8 laps. He was involved in the lap 88 crash. He's credited with 30th, as well as Myatt Snyder, 31st, who started 10th. Look down the list even more. Mason Massey was involved in that lap 88 crash. He led 4 laps, started in 27th, 35th place for him. Behind him, Bailey Currie led 2 laps, had a broken drive shaft on lap 73, finished 36th. And then AJ Allmendinger led 3 laps, started 5th, expected to run towards the front, was taken out in a hard crash with Sam Mayer on lap 24, and AJ had to finish in 39th place.
Yeah, that was that was a hard wreck. But do you want to know what's also I realized about that Talladega race? If people didn't realize, there's actually a team killer. JD Motorsports, all 4 entries did not finish. Vargas got in an accident. Jeff Earnhardt hit the wall hard. You know, there was the drive shaft issue on Bailey Currie. Lenny Castle blew an engine. So all 4 JD cars did not finish the race, which is a nightmare for JD Motorsports with 4 destroyed race cars.
Either they start in park or they don't field all their cars, and now all their cars are toast.
Well, you know that there's actually going to field do you know what's interesting about next week that I heard about JD? They're going to field a Toyota, but it's not going to be, they're going to be listed owner, it's a Sam Hunt car, prepared car, but it's JD like listed owner, the 15
because
car.
they don't want to give the team away real quick. And it's not like JD Motorsports uses factory support, so it makes sense. We'll see how that goes.
But yeah, the points.
Yeah, one more race to go in the round of 12, and Austin Cindric did clinch his spot to get into the round of 12. Justin Allgaier is pretty much going to get himself clinched into the next round, but 55 above the cut line, it's pretty much all sealed up for him. Daniel Hemrick, he could possibly clinch throughout the next race before the next race ends.
But we'll see what happens at the Roval on Saturday.
He's a pretty good driver on road courses. Let's see what happens. AJ Allmendinger, I know he was expecting to clinch after this race like his rival, Austin Cindric, did, but AJ fell shy. He led the points going into this, and now he's plus 33 above the cut line. A little bit of a vulnerable position, but I think the odds are in his favor. Justin Haley plus 24 above the cut line. Brandon Jones plus 21. Boy, a win would have done him a lot better than being plus 21. Noah Gregson plus 18. Now he's been endangered, as is Harrison Burton plus 8 above the cut line, which leaves out Harrison's cousin Jeb Burton for colleague racing in 9th, minus 8 beneath the cut line. Then we go to double digits. 24 points behind is Richard Childress Racing's Mike Snyder. 32 points behind is Riley Herbst for Stuart Haas Racing. And 48 points behind is Jeremy Clements, who is pretty much all but having to win. The Charlotte Roval. So it's more spread out than any other series in terms of the playoffs, but still, work is still yet to be finished for a lot of these teams, and a lot of these drivers have stuff on their minds going into the road course at Charlotte.
Yep.
All right, let's talk some trucks.
Yeah, that race. It was more crazier than the Xfinity race.
Oh, it was destructive.
Oh, yeah. Many trucks failed to finish.
Half the field listed out of the race. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what will. Maybe not as crazy as the 2019 Daytona 250,
but still. It was
close to that list.
Yeah, there was probably some team killer teams like I think David Gilliland Racing. I think both their trucks failed to finish. I think, if it's possible, like there's probably going to be some team killer just
let's
there.
Go through the results.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't already, meet Tate Fogleman, this driver who. So he grew up in the racing scene. I think he's the son of Jay Fogleman, who is a fellow driver from Pittsboro, North Carolina, had a career of his own, of a career from 1989 to 2000. He racked up 2 top 10s in the 1991 NASCAR Busch Series with a best finish of 8th twice. Got himself a successful career in some late model events.
Yep. It's good.
His son is a NASCAR Truck Series winner.
Yep.
He only had to lead the final lap, and he had a destroyed truck already going into the checkered flag and took no prisoners. And it was a bit of a controversial one. He did wipe out John Hunter Nemechek, a championship contender, for the win. But I think he knew deep down inside this could be his only chance to go for a Truck Series win.
Yeah. He slid across the line because second place finisher clipped him, which second place finisher
Tyler Hill.
His first top 10 finally after finishing 3 times in 11th, and also his first top 5 in the same race. Because he had 3 11th place finishes before this top 10. He finally got the top 10 he was looking for in that 56 truck. He was close as well.
He could have won if that 12 spun himself out, just wiping out the 4. It would have been Tyler Hill.
Yeah.
Todd Gilliland. You got to feel for this guy. 39 laps, started second, was class of the field, and got passed on the final corner by 3 trucks. 4 trucks, actually.
Yeah.
But then again, he was driving with damage that was not repaired. Fourth place, John Hunter Nemechek. Truck 4 finishes fourth. Playoff driver, of course, John Hunter Nemechek led 11 laps. A great recovery from the last race, but boy, it was really a win that he was looking for, not a fourth place finish. And fifth place, give a call to Ryan Truex for Nice Motorsports. Sixth place, Corey Roper, another impressive finish on a super speedway. Spencer Boyd, ironically, Young Motorsports teammate to Tate Fogleman, won the race 2 years ago, brings it home in seventh. Now, Spencer Boyd won by leading no laps in 2019 because Johnny Sauter blocked beneath the yellow line and was penalized and disqualified off the win, and thus the win went to Spencer Boyd for Young's Motorsports. 2 years later, history repeats itself with the team, and now they're two-time winners in the Truck Series as well as in Talladega.
Yep.
That is something cool. Danny Bone in 8th place, started 23rd. A very good showing for Danny Bone. 9th place, Chase Purdy. Boy, he set the crowd on its feet for a while, leading 4 laps. He's from Alabama.
Yep. He was close, but until he got spun by Todd Gilliland, he was close to winning that 23 truck.
Yeah, he surely was. And 10th place, Keith McGee. Give a call to this guy. He's from Alaska.
Yep.
Took a risk in his racing career.
Yep. He started out the season for Jordan Anderson and Ray Ohm. Recently, he's been driving for CMI, owned by Rich Cicerelli. This race, driving for Cram Enterprises, owned by Dawson Cram's family. Top 10 for that 41 truck.
Career best finish for Keith McGee and for Cram Enterprises.
Yeah.
And he led a lap in this race. He was able to stay with the pack. That was some cool stuff, and I'm sure a lot of Alaskans that are into racing are proud of their driver.
Yep.
12th place, Sheldon Creed, playoff driver, won stage 2, led 6 laps, finished in the 12th spot. Ben Rhodes led for 20 laps. He started on pole, won stage 1, finished 13th. Not the race those drivers were expecting.
No.
Matt Crafton led for 3 laps, started 3rd, finished 14th. Brent Holmes led 11 laps, another Alabama native. Last year's ARCA champion had a very good showing, led 11 laps, started 19th, finished 15th. Not a bad race. 18th place, Willie Allen, the co-owner of his team, Rackley WAR. Finished 18th in his first start since Charlotte of 2014 in the Camping World Truck Series. A good showing for him. He finished the race. Let's go down the list. Chandler Smith, 19th place. Not the race he was looking for.
He had damage in an accident, so his truck was not the best handling. But, yeah, he won a better race after the race at Vegas. But they have one more race, which is Martinsville at the end of the month, for him to possibly do a same move like he did at Bristol. Other than talking about that, yeah, it sucked for Chandler Smith.
Yeah, let's continue down the leaderboard. We had Stuart Friesen, who finished in 22nd. He was involved in an accident. He was running up front, racing for the lead. Started 4th, taken out after the lap 75 crash. Let's continue. 25th place, Carson Hosfar. Needed to survive this one. That was not the case. He finished 25th out on lap 75. Let's continue down the results. Tyler Ingram led for 1 lap. Started 27th, finished 28th with the DVP violation, out of the race. Johnny Sauter crashed on lap 61, led a lap, finished 30th. Austin Hill led 1 lap, started 5th, finished 32nd, out of the race on lap 57. Let's continue on. Zane Smith, a gutting 33rd for the Vegas native, who was in the playoffs battle. So there you have it. A lot of people out of the race. We had a major crash on lap 59. as well as lap 77 and on the final lap itself, and it took out a lot of favorites.
Yep, but also, do you know what's funny? I just realized about that race. There was only 2 retirements that were not accident, like DVPs, the driver policy, like crash damage. The only 2 retirements that was not that, Austin Wayne Self retired for electrical, and Jack Wood was the first retirement engine. Every other retirement is because of crash damage. Yeah, that race was chaotic.
Yeah, 2 races to go in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Yep,
one more race to determine the championship 4, and every spot is up for grabs, which include every opportunity to lose your spot in the championship 4.
Yeah, because Christian Eckes won at Vegas. He's a non-player driver, and Tate Fogleman surprised people winning at Talladega. So there's no playoff drivers locked in.
And I think we could see someone new win at Martinsville. I don't be surprised at all if it happens. It's a driver's track.
Yeah, it's going to be
about the playoffs now. 1 race to go before we determine our 2021 Championship 4 contestants for this year's final race at Phoenix. John Hunter Nemechek, 36 points above the cut line. Could he clinch throughout the Martinsville race? Maybe. It's a tall order. Ben Rhodes, 35 points, just 1 point behind John Hunter Nemechek. Same scenario for Rhodes. Matt Crafton has made more starts at Martinsville than any other competitor that he's competing with to go for his 4th championship. But he's 10 points above the cut line. It's so close. 5 points above the cut line, reigning champion Sheldon Creed. Then, beneath 4th, we have Stuart Friesen, -5. He's a great short track racer, but can that translate over to Martinsville? We'll have to see. He'll have to do well there. Chandler Smith, 34 points above the cut line. He's a bit of a long shot, as is Carson Hocevar, -37, and Zane Smith, -40, who's just had an abysmal past 2 races. That race will be held on the 30th of October, almost to the end for this Truck Series season.
Yep, it's a Saturday afternoon race before the Xfinity race. Hopefully there's no rain that day, other than thinking about rain at Martinsville. But Truck Series, they have weeks until then, because the final 2 races for them are back-to-back. So a couple weeks for the truck teams to regroup after having Talladega. Trying to build new trucks, short track chassis, trying to build those trucks up, get them ready for Martinsville, and get another one ready for Phoenix.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. These teams, it's going to be close-knit, Justin. I don't know what else to say.
Oh my.
Let's talk a little bit sports cars now. We'll discuss some more motorsports later, but before we go on and talk sports cars, I just do want to send out my condolences, regardless to the situation, to the family and friends of John Wes Townley, who was shot and killed on Saturday night in his home of Athens, Georgia. John Wes Townley was 31 years old. He was known for having a very controversial stock car career, mostly funded by his father's company, Tony Townley, who co-founded Zaxby's, the chicken food chain. And John Wes Townley, while he was known for leaving the 2010s with a reputation as a nickname known as John Rex Weekly, he immediately started to slowly turn things around so he can have a little bit of light in his career in the 2010s.
Yeah.
That included 2 ARCA Daytona 200 wins, a very prestigious event to win, and he got himself a victory in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series in upset fashion at Las Vegas Motor Speedway 6 years ago to this weekend. Now, what we don't know is the update on the other victim, who was a 32-year-old woman. Last update at the time of this video, if that I'm aware of, was that she was in serious condition. Police do say that there is a suspect in question that has been in familiarity with John Wes Townley and the other victim. I'm not going to go into full details about that, but just, not the news anybody wanted to wake up to on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Also, some other news that we learned, and we didn't really know too much, but in fact, they finally broke the news about a month later, almost a month later, was that former NASCAR stock car driver Kerry Teague from Concord, North Carolina, passed away at the age of 60 on the 11th of September. It wasn't announced until this past weekend that he passed away. I'm not so sure if he's related to fellow driver Brad Teague, but he only made 1 out of 4 Daytona 500 attempts with KT Motorsports when he finished 33rd in 1992. He was also a big key role in the first ever NASCAR Truck Series season when he drove for Rosenblum Racing in the 1995 inaugural NASCAR Super Truck Series, where he got, of course, the team is now known as FDNY Racing, by the way, the Jim Rosenblum team that we still see run a few races with Brian Doza. He got a best finish of 13th twice at Tucson and at Bristol Motor Speedway. He was 60 years old. So with that out of the way on the stock car news, let's go ahead and get ourselves ready to talk some sports car racing. We don't have too much to discuss rather than what we're going to preview, but it was an interesting showing of events. For the guys that did show up, they definitely took advantage of this opportunity. We had a lack of cars, but we had a lot of racing between the 2 days in the 12 hours of Hungary. The first 12 hours of Hungary at the Hungaroring since 2014. And guess what? Porsche are 6 for 6 in the 2021 24-hour series. Why? Because they come prepared and they have drivers determined to do it. Now, we didn't have Robert Renauer in this one, but his twin brother Alfred, who co-founds Herbert Motorsport, was part of the lineup, completing 367 laps with co-drivers Ralph Bone and Daniel Allman for Herbert Motorsport number 91 Porsche 911 GT3R. 397 laps, 367 laps were complete for the overall win, as they win again in the penultimate round of 2021. Second place overall and in class. I was pulling for these guys. They were, if something happened to the 91 car, I'm sure these guys would have been very happy to win. Number 85, CP Racing, Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo of Charles Putman, Charlie Espinlau, Joe Foster, Shane Lewis, the All-American 15-up team. Did a brilliant job. They got to finish on the second highest step of the podium. Third place overall was the number 18 car, Ronick Racing by TECE, Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo with drivers Michael Doppelmayr, Alea Earhart, Pierre Kaffer, and Sven Herberger, finishing third overall and in class, completing 355 laps, almost 10 laps beneath the first place car. Fourth place overall. Let's give a call, or let's talk about the class real quick. We only had 6 entries that were in the GT3 class, so let's just go through them before we go through the overall lineup. Fourth place in the class was the number 2 JR Motorsports BMW M6 GT3 with Bas Schoten, Ten Van Ville, and Ruud Olige. They completed 349 laps, minus 18 from the overall winner, finishing 6th overall. Fifth place in the GT3 class was the number 58 MP Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, completing 104 laps with the Gosner family. David, I don't know why he's not listed there, but he was on the coverage. Corina Manuela and Thomas Gosner. They did not have a good start to the race in part 1, and never really got a chance to recover in part 2. But they did classify in the end. And last but not least, in Herbert Motors, or in the GT3 class, finishing 16th and last overall out of the race with a gearbox failure after 159 laps, was the number 92 Herbert Motorsport Porsche 911 GT3R with Bobby Gonzalez, Joran Herrig, Tim Mueller, and Marco Seafry. So now let's move on to the other class. A lot of cars only ran in their own class, but we'll start with the GT division, or let's just go through the order. The P4 class, these guys ran the new car. It was the number 500 Car Collection Motorsport Audi Lms Gt3 Evo2. This is a car that's not approved yet for next year. With Nathaniel Berton, Martin Leckman, and Martin Rump, they got to finish fourth. In fact, in part one of the race, they finished second.
Huh.
Yeah, they were up there. So it's a good showing for Audi. I don't know. I don't want to say if they were sandbagging. I shouldn't accuse anyone for sandbagging, but who knows? Of course, that was the P4 class winner, the only car in the category. They're not approved to race in the GT3 category until homologation kicks in. Fifth place overall was the 991 class winner. The only car in the category was the number 955. Only Motorsport by Ebby Motors Porsche 991 GT3 Cup. Fabrizio Broghi, Sabino De Castro, Sergio Nicolai. Of course, the only car in the class for the one-make spec Porsche 991 Cup. Fifth overall is not a bad run, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And last but not, or two more classes, actually. Let's talk first of all about the GTX class. We did have two teams show up for this category. Winning the GTX class, finishing 10th overall, was car 720, completing 329 laps. This Lithuanian team is known as Seal Ladley RD Signs Racing Team, with Andreas Butkivius, Paulius Paskivius, and Nikola Michel, completing 329 laps and multiple laps ahead of the competitor in the GTX class, which is the number 701 Vortex V8 Vortex 1.0 GTX. The custom-built French car completed 283 laps, driven by Philippe Bonnel, Gilles Courtois, and Nicolas Knobs. One more class in GT division. We'll go talk about the TCEs. And then, of course, the GT4 class winners. There were only one GT4 that showed up. It was car 438. ST Racing BMW M4 GT4, completing 301 laps, with Nick Whitmer, Samantha Tan, John Miller, Chandler Hull. I'm not sure why Nick Whitmer's not on the list, but I guess that's what it is. All right, TCX. Now let's talk about the TCE division, which was TCE division won by 7th place overall in the race. And in the TCR class winner was the car 112 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing, completing 335 laps, 1 lap over their second place competitor, 2 laps over their teammate that finished third. Car 112 was driven by Jasmine Pressig, Christoph Lenz, Emil Iridaho, and Milos Pavlovic. So good run for the 112 car. However, splitting the two Autorama Motorsport Volkswagens was car 188. These guys only needed 2 drivers. The AC Motorsport Audi RS3 LMS TCR, Matthew Detry and Stefan Perrin, completing 334 laps. And third place in the class was the number 1 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR of Emil Iridaho, Konstantin Kletzer. By the way, I think he was in the other car as well. I don't know why they listed him. Lucas Stolarczyk and Fabian Dans. By the way, the 112 car ran a special green livery for support against cancer. Danny is here. What's up, Danny?
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. We're going to still talk about the 24H series race real quick. We'll get into the NASCAR and get into the Charlie Roval stuff. Continuing on with the TCR class, there was one more car that ran in the class, but they failed to finish, and that was the number 101 Red Camel Jordans.NL, the team owned by Evo Breukers and his family, the Audi RS3 LMS TCR. They retired on lap 184 with a mechanical failure. Drivers Evo, Luke, and Rick Breukers behind the wheel of that car. They were favorites. Usually they run in the 991 class lately, but they swapped back for this one. I guess to save some bucks. Who knows if that means they're going to run in the 24 Hours of Sebring. We'll have to see. And, of course, the only TCX class that ran was the TCX class winner of Munchkoff Racing, driven by Eric Van den Munchkoff, the team owner, and Marco Poland, and the number 210 BMW M4 GTR, completing 283 laps. One more race to go in the championship, and that is the also anticipated 24 Hours of Sebring.
Yep.
And boy, I can't stop grinning every time I say that.
We've been hearing you talk about this race for, 2 months straight?
As if the 12-hour race at Sebring isn't treacherous enough. We're going to put these cars out for 24 hours.
Yeah.
This should be very interesting.
We're only a month and 2 weeks away, and that'll be our 7th and final race of the 2021 championship. That was our only sports car race we had to go over this weekend, but let's go on. We had 2 other races. We're going to go back into talking about the Cup Series. I know we have a lot to say. Boy, what a day it's been at Talladega. But let's go to the grassroots, shall we? Talk about what happened at Salem Speedway.
Ooh.
Jesse Love, how sweet it is, takes the win.
Oh man,
leading 45 laps and got a hold of Ty Gibbs.
Yep.
He got a hold of Ty Gibbs after Gibbs led 155 laps. However, he did clinch the 2021 ARCA Sioux Chiefs Showdown Championship.
Yep.
Get used to Ty Gibbs.
Yeah,
like him or not, he's going to be a fixture in racing for a long time.
Yeah, he finished second, but yeah, he got a bad restart on that final restart. Jesse Love got a better restart, which he pulled away from him, but there's not many cars on the lead lap. Only 5 finished on the lead lap.
Give a call to Raja Caruth.
Yep.
Third
P3.
place.
Yep, for Rev Racing's number 6 car. Yep.
Man,
I'm so proud of Roger, man. He was able to get that win. No, to get that 3rd place podium.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, if there was a handful more laps, he would probably find his way to 2nd place. Or even win.
I hope he gets a good showing next year because he's going to Xfinity.
But also not other than that, he's running full time for the main ARCA series. Also, he said for Rev Racing, he'll run the full ARCA main season, the main ARCA 20 race schedule, plus 4 races in the 3 to 4 races in the Xfinity Series for Alpha Prime Racing. Yep, it's gonna be interesting.
Golden. 4th place, Will Kimmel, a veteran in the series, driving for his family-owned team, and Jesse Love's teammate Gracie Trotter for Venturino Motorsports running up the top 5. Only 5 cars on the lead lap. Shows you how tough it was on Saturday night at Salem Speedway, but that sure was a good showing. But of course, as we know, it's down to 2 drivers, but I think it's really down to the amount of cars we have showing up, unless something really catastrophic has. It is all but Ty Gibbs now in this championship. 33 points separate Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim, 996 for Ty Gibbs, 963 for Corey Heim. Nick Sanchez, of course, 6 at 692 points. 4th place, Ted Moffitt at 666 in points, and Brad Smith at 517 points. Looks like they have got their positions clinched.
Yeah, because remember, Tad Moffitt's not running Kansas. Remember, JP Bergeron's running Kansas and the ARCA West race at Phoenix. So
he's going to sit at 666 points unless otherwise.
Nick Sanchez, he's going to get 3rd because Brad Smith's going to stay 5th place. So top 5 for Brad Smith.
So they all clinched 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I assume.
Yeah. 1st and 2nd, probably.
But Clements probably going to go to Gibbs and Heim.
Yeah, Gibbs and Heim they get 1st and 2nd because Nick Sanchez is too far back to get 2nd.
And you know what? Ty Gibbs ought to be proud. Everyone entered the year saying, okay, Ty Gibbs is going to run ARCA series. Maybe a few Xfinity races. We'll see how that fares out. Whoa. Stop right away. We go round 2 at Daytona in the Xfinity Series on the road course. A win.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nobody expected that for Ty Gibbs.
Yeah.
A fair and square win. It's just too much to explain with this guy. He is so good. I know who's taking Daniel Hemrick and or Harrison Burton's ride in the Xfinity Series next year.
Well,
one of those rides are going to go to somebody by the name of Ty Gibbs. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like Ty Gibbs will be 18 because that's, Gibbs' number. Like Joe Gibbs' racing number is 18. Like you've seen JGR, they ran 18 as the main number. Basically, remember, Joe Gibbs Racing, they start out with just the 18. Remember Dale Jarrett? Remember they start out, they drove the 18 was
I think it's going to go to Ty.
Yeah, I feel like Ty's going to be the
It's
number
only
18.
fitting.
Yeah, the Gibbs family.
What?
All right, let's go ahead and talk about MotoGP. Another good, entertaining race.
Yeah. It was interesting. I did not watch it because I was at work because
Unfortunately, I missed most of it because I was working. Wow. But wait, who is the guy that got the championship? Wait, who? Tell him who got the championship. Yeah.
Danny, can I take your order? Can I take 2 burgers?
oh god.
I mean, your mic sounds like if you were working at the Burger King. No offense.
Oh my God.
The voice speaker system.
I put on. Come on, guys. What do you want?
You might want to check how much you plugged into the microphone or something. All right.
Yeah, other than thinking we're at Burger King, other than that, no, we're not at a Burger King. Last time I checked, but
How's
yeah,
this?
good.
Way better, right?
Oh,
Yep.
big time.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, MotoGP. I heard it was interesting. And
Yeah, in the
win.
end, Marc Marquez, a 7th win at Circuit of the Americas, 58th in his astonishing career.
Yeah.
Fabio Quartararo, 2nd. Marquez got the fastest lap. Francesco Bagnaia trying to stay in this championship hunt. Pole position for the 3rd week in a row. Unfortunately, it's not a 3rd win in a row.
Yeah.
Alex Rins and Jorge Martin. Unfortunately, with the penalty, he had to be resorted to 5th.
Oh God.
So in the standings, what do the standings look like? Fabio Quartararo. Oh, I gotta change the banner.
Yeah,
Fabio Quartararo with 254 points. Pecco Bagnaia with 202 points. You do the math. 3rd place, Joao Mir with 175 points. 4th place, Jack Miller, the Aussie, with 149 points. And Johan Zarco, another retirement. He's dropped down to 5th, sitting at 141 points.
Wow.
Now in the constructor standings is close between Ducati and Yamaha. 91 points by Ducati. Yamaha 282 points. Suzuki sits far back in 3rd with 187 points, getting caught up by KTM. 185. Honda at 173 and Aprilia at 105. And then again, we do send our condolences out to the Vinales family. Maverick Vinales did not travel overseas to run the America's Grand Prix after the tragic death of his 15-year-old cousin, Dean Berta Vinales.
Yeah. That really hit hard for that day, and my thoughts and prayers are with that family.
All right. And in the team standings, it's very close. Just 2 points between Ducati Lenovo team and Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP. 351 for Ducati Lenovo team. The factory Yamaha team of Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP at 349. In 2nd, Team Suzuki X-Star in 3rd with 256 points. Pramac Racing 4th with 227 points. And Rebel KTM Factory Racing 5th with 223 points.
Wait, have we ever covered the World Superbike Championship? That's sanctioned with the FIM. Guys?
We do talk about the World Superbike Championship a little bit, but MotoGP is our.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Whew.
All right, but yeah, listen. I'm just glad to see the Americans. The Americans get an opportunity to watch the best in the world on two wheels.
Yep, but
you didn't get that opportunity last year.
Nope, and in a few weeks at COTA is going to be the United States Grand Prix for Formula One at COTA in a few weeks.
On four wheels.
Yep, four wheels, not two though. No, F1 cars do not work on three wheels either. Remember, Vettel tried to use three wheels at. Remember, Vettel broke a rear in 2019. The last time we raced there in F1 was 2019, and Vettel had suspension damage and tried to limp on three wheels, which three wheels does not work on F1 cars.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, four wheels is the way to go, except if you play Formula 1 98. I guess the car handles better on three wheels in that game. I don't know why. I heard that.
If you're Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
At Silverstone.
Yep.
Last year, 2020, it was an absolute crazy finish.
Well, let's see how that goes. And once again, one more thing. We have 3 races remaining in the MotoGP World Championship.
Yep.
The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, round 16 of 18.
Yep.
And what's round 17? Is it? No, it's not Argentina. They're not going there this year.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just looking it up. You just have to type going at M.
Oh, wait, what? Wait, it says Emilia-Romagna and then Valencian Grand Prix on
Algarve Grand Prix. It's another race at Portimao. And then the Valencian Community Grand Prix. A lot of repeat filler races this year because of their overseas barriers. This was really the biggest overseas leap that we had all year long. But we're 16 and 17 and 18. It will start on October 24th. Do you think Quartararo's all certainly done yet? No way.
No.
McKnight making and I have to. It's just up for us to watch and tell. It's gonna be great when we get to the end.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the upcoming NASCAR races this weekend. We're gonna start off going back with the Cup Series. Of course, we didn't get a new or a playoff contending winner in Talladega's race today, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we go back to the road course at Charlotte and see what we saw again in the last 3 years. Will it happen again? Who knows? Around
32 of 36. Race 3 of 3 in the round of 12.
Yes.
Yep. The Bank of America Roval 400.
Yes. Yeah, the Xfinity Series racing on the Charlotte road course for round 29 of 33. The final race to the round of 12. The Turkish Grand Prix round 16 of 22 for F1. F1's come back. They're going on pretty much of a stretch.
Yep.
The sports car world's going to be very active this weekend. We're going to talk about some IMSA, the penultimate round in the 2021 season. Just the GT classes are racing at VIR for this road race.
Yep.
The Sprint Championship comes to an end as well. The WeatherTech Sprint Cup, their 9th and final race.
Yep.
At VIR in Virginia. The GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup closes their season with the 3 Hours of Barcelona, the 5th of 5 Endurance Cup races for the GT World Challenge Europe, round 5-5 this weekend. And the in-house Nürburgring Championship, the NLS VLN Series, the 4 Hours of the Nürburgring closed their 9-race campaign this weekend with the 4 Hours of Nürburgring. We're going to break all that down for you, but we're going to start with the NASCAR Cup Series of the Charlotte Road Course on what to expect. And let's look at the history of this race. It's an easy one to look back at. This is round 32, 36, the third and final race in the championship, for the round of 12. I meant in the playoffs. Last year's winner, Chase Elliott. Ryan Blaney won the first race in 2018 in that crazy chaotic finish. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, your winners. Chase Elliott 2 wins, Ryan Blaney 1 win. Most team wins. Hendrick Motorsports 2 wins, and Team Penske with that 1 win. Of course, same with the manufacturers, Chevrolet with 2 and Ford with 1.
Huh. Okay, just looking at stats. Interesting.
It's an easy one. This is our 4th race at the World.
Yeah, we have 2 in. Wait.
2 from Elliott, 1 from Blaney.
Yeah, this is the 4th race. We had 3 races before, so 2 wins for Chevy, 1 win for Ford. Makes it and 2 wins for Hendrick Motorsports, 1 win for Team Penske. Not many stats, not like pages of stats. This is the only 4th running of this race. 2018 was the first, which was Blaney, and then the last 2 years was Chase Elliott. 2019, everybody thought Chase Elliott, did that mistake. People thought, oh, he's done for. Nope, comes back from that and wins. 2020, yeah.
I don't know. I might just have to make the same pick
because
I made last year.
Oh, who did you pick last year? I don't even remember who you picked last year.
But I think I know for sure I'm going to pick this year. And I'm going to pick Chase Elliott to go back to victory lane for a 3rd consecutive season.
Ooh, okay.
Man, as much as you're going to pick Chase Elliott because, of course, he's a good, road course springer. But I'm going to have to go all fingers pointed at Larson to win at the Roval on Sunday. Let's see if he can continue his hot streak in the playoffs like he's done in the regular season.
Okay, I got my stats for this driver. Okay, this driver, in 3 starts here, he has 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, 3 top 20s, 2 laps left. Average start of 3.3. He has the best average. Nope, 2nd best average start of any driver, but he has the best average start of active drivers. His best finish here is 2nd. Lowest finish was 8th in 2018. This driver's in a must-win situation. Driver of the number 48, Alex Bowman, is going to win at the Roval. He has an average finish of 4.67.
Alex Bowman, he's got to win it.
He has 2 second. He has a 2nd, I think a 3rd, or I don't remember where he finished last year. He finished really high up, and his worst finish.
He finished 2nd.
Yeah, he did. 2018, the first ever race, he finished 8th. That's his worst finish here. But do you want to know what's another stat I just found? JJ Yaley has the same amount of starts as Kyle Busch at the Roval. Yaley's average finish is 30.67. Do you want to know what Kyle Busch's average finish at the Roval is?
40.6.
33rd is his average finish.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, this is his worst track. He's not... Let me check. Kyle Busch's best finish here. Are you kidding me?
It's pretty bad, Justin.
30th P30 is his best finish here. Other than that... So he's going to a race. He's going into this race barely ahead of the cutoff at a race that his best finish is 30th. Not looking good for Kyle Busch, but we also have the Xfinity Series on Saturday. The Xfinity Series is racing at Charlotte.
Yes.
at the Roval, which I'm getting my stats ready for that.
I know who I have, and let me go ahead and put that banner up.
You're gonna pick a Mike Harmon car?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a car that resembles the same manufacturer as Mike Harmon car. So hold up.
Why? Come on, dude.
That means I'm picking a Chevy driver.
Well.
I mean,
what?
I can't really bash you because you're picking a Chevy driver. But
Hey.
Mike Harmon, you kidding me?
What? See, hey, Greg Goulding ran in the top 5 in that car last year.
Hey, that's fine.
Well, Joe Graf Jr. has a better average finish than Brandon Jones at the Roval. That's
true.
Well, that's something, but what's the worst average finish here? Oh, it's Yaley, 39th place average finish. Oh my gosh. So, Joseph, okay. I think I know who you're going to pick. Does your driver have an average finish of 1.0? Joseph? Is the driver you're picking does your driver you're picking have an average finish of 1.0? Hey.
Yeah, it's AJ Allmendinger.
Yeah,
I gave it away.
Yeah,
you did give it away.
He has an average finish of 1.0. That's his average finish here. But his average... Yeah. Who am I picking, man?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with the same thing. Allmendinger is gonna get this again at the Roval. All signs point to him.
Okay, my pick is even crazier. Okay, this driver, he has 3 starts at the Roval. He's ran every Roval race. He's also a non-playoff driver. This driver in 3 races here has 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 3 top 20s. Average start of 9. Average finish of 7.67. This driver, he doesn't drive for the best equipment. He drives for not the best equipment, but
he still manages to get a job done.
Yep. Driver of the number 36, Alex Labbe is going to get career win number 1 at the Roval. He'll
be the first Canadian since Ron Fellows in Montreal 2008 to win the Xfinity Series.
And the highest playoff driver is Allmendinger. But I feel like Alex Labbe, he's good on road courses. He had a good shot of winning it last year in that 36 car. He's a good road course racer and really solid. So I feel like that 36 car, it could happen. Because we've seen wacky races like last year. Remember that heavy downpour? Remember the rain last year during the Xfinity race, which was really interesting? That could happen. There's a chance of rain again, but this time we like having rain at Charlotte for the road course is okay, not on the oval, because you can't race on banking like the full speed, like the whole oval track compared to road course. You can, but
yeah, rain or shine, he's won them both. I can't see a reason why AJ can't win it.
But we'll see.
There's a lot of hungry drivers that have definitely are working extra harder to put a stop to that this year, especially with AJ in where he's at in the championship. They could take full advantage of him. Really, really muscle through these corners. And again, no practice on qualifying. These guys are racing cold turkey.
Yeah, the next race that's going to have practice and qualifying for this year is the finale. Phoenix is going to have 1 practice session, a quali, and the race because it's the championship race.
And guess what? That kind of format, get used to that for next year. Just 1 practice session.
Yeah,
they might even limit how much you can work on the cars between the sessions.
Yeah,
pretty much you're in park Fermi mode from start to finish.
Like, literally, 1 practice session is not like before. Remember when we had too many, like, 1 practice? 3. Yeah, it sometimes got, like, some races had 2, which was normal, but some races had 3 for some reason, which, like, why? Like, some tracks that, but other than that, we're going to be back to normal and do some stuff.
Take care, Danny. Thanks for joining.
Let me just check. Okay. Yeah, so Charlotte's going to be interesting.
And I think we're going to see MJ there. That's his home track. He's got every reason in the world to be there.
Yep, after winning at Talladega, first career win for 2311 racing.
And I think we're going to get some more in the future.
Yep, because
with Kurt
Busch's
Busch's addition to the team.
Yep, he's going to drive the second entry, number 45.
All right. Let's get into some F1 real quick, and then we're going to dive deep into sports car racing to close out this podcast.
Yep.
All right, so let's start. All right, to Istanbul we go this upcoming weekend. Turkish Grand Prix is on the schedule, and it's a filler race. It actually was supposed to be
replacing Singapore.
Right, it was going to be replacing the Canadian Grand Prix on the same weekend of June of that year that Canada was supposed to be held, but then that race was swept out with COVID reasons, and then.
But then,
hopefully we get to see fans at Turkey this time.
Yeah, last year, the last time I had Turkish Grand Prix was last year, won by Sir Lewis Hamilton. He took the win last year when they had that race added on the schedule because COVID-19. That was added to the schedule, and the pulser in that race was Lance Stroll. Interesting.
Let's take a look at the history of the Turkish Grand Prix. Well, it's not too much, but it's enough to look at all the history of this event. Round 16 of 22. Last year, Lewis Hamilton got the win that got him their seventh World Drivers' Championship. Kimi Räikkönen won the first race in 2005. Who has the most wins? Felipe Massa won all three of his wins with Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton won twice. Most wins by a constructor, 3 from Ferrari, 2 from McLaren, which include Hamilton's first win at Istanbul.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to ask, who's going to win this one? Will it be Hamilton? Will it be Verstappen? Could it be Lando Norris and the McLaren boys? What about Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas? We know Valerie was very hungry for a win in Sochi, and it didn't go his way.
Well, I have Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. The Mercedes has had a decent amount of upgrades, they said, which it seems like Mercedes has. After last race, Mercedes was 0.6 faster than Red Bull. And Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton has a lot of experience here compared to Max Verstappen, which really helps Lewis Hamilton's case of winning. And the Mercedes is good around that track. So I'd say Lewis Hamilton will get career win number 101 and go back-to-back and try to extend his. He's going to gain more points on
He's
Max.
Not going to hoist the championship trophy.
No, like last year.
But he's going to need to extend it here, and this could be a track where experience plays in. Yeah. Max Verstappen's only start at
last year.
It was last year. Where did he finish? Was it second? No, Vettel got second.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I remember that was my favorite driver got second. How can I not? How can I forget that?
I'm checking right now.
Max Verstappen at the Turkish Grand Prix. You know, I'm looking out at his.
I'm checking.
6th place.
Okay. I just realized that both Haas cars, Grosjean and Magnussen, finished 17th and 18th. Valtteri finished 14th, a lap down. Oh yeah, that race that Valtteri spun so many times in a race. A bit embarrassing, but other than that, yeah. So, yeah, I think Lewis Hamilton because experience. You need experience at Turkey. It's a tough track. Remember last year with the conditions, cars were sliding all over the track.
It was a much colder track. It might be chilly as well, but
better than because last year that race was in November. This year it's in October, so it should be a bit warmer. It's supposed to be cloudy. I checked the conditions. So far it says cloudy.
Knocked down a lot of degrees.
Yeah.
Track temperature.
Yeah, so it might be slippery, but hopefully better than last year, where that track was even treacherous last year. But yeah, Formula One, they're back this week after having an off week after Russia. They had an off week. They're racing. They have another off week next week. Then on the 24th, they're racing at Coda on the 24th for Circuit of the Americas. They obviously need an off week because they're heading it across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. They're heading 2 races in North America, and then they go to South America at Brazil.
And those are all 3 events. Remember, they did not take any trips west of the Atlantic Ocean last year.
Yeah.
So, you better have your game on, or you're not going to have the results you were looking for.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Okay, let's dive deep into the sports car racing. We're going to start off with the IMSA WeatherTech Championship. In the road race at VIR.
Yep.
Then we'll dive deep into the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup, the closing Endurance Cup round of 3 hours of Barcelona. And then we'll talk a little bit about the NLS 4 hours of Nürburgring, which close out their 2021 campaign. So this is the final race of their sprint championship, round 11 of 12. And now I'm going to look up the entry list. I know you have it there.
Yeah, there's 3 GTLMs. As always, the same 3 GTLMs are entered, plus the 15 GT Daytona cars are entered. So 18 entries. It's only GT category this time. Yeah.
Yeah, I will look up the pull up the standings for sure for the IMSA championships, because we'll definitely need to talk about that. There's a lot of championships online.
Yeah.
So, you better not make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Because they'll be unrecoverable. So let's make our predictions, and then we'll talk about the championship and our predictions on who wins the Sprint Cup championship for the GTD class.
Okay. For me, GTLM, my pick is the number 3 Corvette Racing Corvette C8R, driven by Antonio Garcia and Jordan Taylor. Picking experience. They're good here at VIR. Who's your pick for GTLM, Joseph?
Well, my pick for GTLM and overall is going to be car number 3. I think it's an easy one. Jordan Taylor, Antonio Garcia, Chevrolet Corvette, C8R for Corvette Racing number 3. I think it's going to be the race where they also end up winning the championship as well, the complete championship.
Okay. Then we got the GT Daytonas. They have 15 entries. Okay. Okay, I got my pick. My pick for the GT, the Sprint Cup, is
let's talk about for the win, the race win.
But okay. For me, it's the number 23 Heart of Racing Aston Martin Vantage GT3, driven by Roman DeAngelis and Ross Gunn. Yeah. Is your pick, Joseph?
Going with car 23 as well. I think they're in the, they got a really good lead in the Sprint Cup. I think they could clinch it.
Yeah, I have the 23 winning the Sprint Cup also. Yeah, it would be fitting winning that and then getting the Sprint Cup at the same time, because that 23's been decent. That 23 team, Roman DeAngelis and Ross Gunn, experience in that car. They know around these tracks, so yeah.
And of course, let's not forget the complete GTD championship.
Yeah.
That include which is FAF Motorsports right now in the lead, 2,570 in points of Lawrence Vantore, Zachary Robicon. Then second place would be the duo of the number 1 Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, Brian Sellers, Madison Snow. Then a Heart of Racing team. So the Snow Sellers combo, 2,538 points. And then 2,466 in points is the 23 Heart of Racing team, Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3, DeAngelis and Ross Gunn. And then, of course, Turner Motorsport BMW dropped badly in points after their mishap at Long Beach.
Yeah.
With Bill Amberlin, Robbie Foley, 2-4-2-0 in points. Remember, that championship has 2 races to spare.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about the prototypes and their situations after the events this upcoming weekend, and definitely leading on to the Petit Le Mans race in November when it closes. Also, the Endurance Cup Championships, which also need to be settled.
Yeah.
We'll see how it all pans out. It should be a very interesting race.
Yeah.
Now, we have other championships to go finish, and that's the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup.
Yeah.
The 3 hours of Barcelona will close out the endurance rounds for the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup.
Yeah.
Powered by AWS.
Yeah. Decent amount of entries I'm seeing on the entry list. Okay. Okay, what class is overall again? I don't even know.
It's just pro. They're all GT3s.
Yeah, it says pro, silver, there's 2 invitational cars.
Wikipedia is behind. Why?
I found 2. Hey, you know that I thought there was only the 82 invitational entry? There's another one. The 26 Santa Lock Racing is also an Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo2. That's another invitational entry. Like, for me, I don't even know. I'm just trying to look. Silver? I don't even know if silver goes for, I don't know, pro?
They're all the same power. They're all GT3s. But I assume the pro would end up winning overall.
Oh, okay. I found my pick. My pick is the number 22 GPX Racing. Matt Campbell, Earl Bamber, Matthew Jaminet. Strong lineup in their number 22 Porsche 911. That 22 team has been strong. That's why I'm picking them. They're always strong in these.
We did see Lamborghini win in the last race of the 3 hours at Nürburgring.
Yeah,
that does speak volumes.
Yeah, Emil Frey Racing has them. GRT Grasser, Orange FF, Orange one.
Yeah, the 63 won the last race. But I think for this upcoming event, I'm going to go ahead and take Ferrari for this one.
Okay.
And it's actually going to be it's going to be car 71, Iron Link's Ferrari 488 GT3 with Cal Mila, Alessio Rivera, Antonio Fuoco, the factory drivers. They look very, very stable, and that's going to speak volumes when it comes to race time. All right. Let's make our predictions for the Silver Cup.
Okay, Silver Cup.
Assuming that the Pro-Am or the Pro class wins overall outright. Let's go with Silver, then Pro-Am, and then we'll talk about the invitational entries.
Okay. Okay, I got my pick for Silver. My pick for the Silver Cup, I got the number 33 Rinaldi Racing Ferrari 48 GT3 driven by David Perel, Benjamin Hitz, and Fabrizio Crestani. Yeah.
All right. As for Silver Cup, I'm going to take the number 57 Winwood Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo with Russell Ward, Philip Ellis, Mikel Grenier. That's the same lineup that won in class in a very competitive GT Daytona with the HTP's help. So that's why I think the way I do. Let's go down to Pro-Am Cup. There's a lot of entries for the Pro-Am Cup.
I found
we'll pull forth in this one.
Okay, my pick for the Pro-Am Cup is the number 488 Rinaldi Racing Ferrari 48 GT3 driven by Jeroen Bleekemolen, Christian Hook, and Manuel Locke. Yeah.
Pick.
Yeah.
as for Pro-Am, I've seen a lot of good stuff in the Ferrari Cup with these drivers, and one of them, or at least from one of these drivers, and all three of them are female. They are really stable with iron links, or as they call them, the female, all female liners, the iron dames.
Oh, I found it.
Car, that's 71, but it's car 83.
Yeah.
Iron Links Ferrari 488 GT3, Sarah Bovey, Dorian Pinn, that's the driver I'm really looking at, and Michelle Gatti.
Huh.
I think they might have what it takes to win this class, or the invitational class. Now they're going to probably compete for the outright win.
Yeah, I see two of them. The 26.
They're basically cars not able to be put in the same class.
And the 82. I got my pick.
Yes, let's hear
it. My pick is the number 82 BMW M4 GT3, driven by Philippe Augusto Farfus and Jesse Krohn. Experience.
That's the same lineup that finished 5th overall in the last NLS VLN race.
Yeah, they're entered as the number 82 entry. I'm picking experience because, and also, do you know what's interesting about those three drivers? Remember when BMW had Team M-Tech and in WEC? That was their car number. They had 81 and 82, and that's when the meme started about the BMW.
The big BMW running people over at Le Mans. The Dunlop Bridge. Running over, knocking down the Dunlop Bridge entirely.
So who's your pick for the Invitational?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a car that impressed me in the 24 Series race. Part 1 of the 12 Hours of Hungary. We got to see second place overall be the number 500 car collection motorsport Audi. Our LMS GT3 Evo2. Well, Santilok Racing has purchased one for themselves.
Yeah,
Marcus Winkelhock, Finlay Hutchison, and Freddie Verbic. I think that would be the highest of the invitational class cars. Will one of them win overall? Don't count them out.
No,
I think they could.
Yeah.
How the car can handle it. Whether or not they want a sandbag.
But we're gonna see. We'll see how that goes at Barcelona. But interesting track, except the only part that people hate about the track is that final, chicane on the end of the track. That's the only thing that people complain about the track. But other than people complain about bad circuits, because a lot of people do that recently. Other than that, we have also the final race of the NLS VLN.
Yeah, and that will close up their 9-race calendar. Now, we don't usually have our entry lists for the races until about Thursday or Friday of the race week because of how many entries there are.
Yeah, we're only Monday.
But I would definitely have to say is that it was an interesting season that we had this year. We had a lot of drivers inexperienced or not have a shot to win overall in these Nürburgring races. BMW Junior Team comes to mind. Aston Martin Racing, of course, we saw their pro lineups in a new Aston Martin Vantage MR GT3 body. With the same model, they proved them, but just showing that they still can get it done.
Yeah.
But whatever happens there, it's going to be a good showing.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see some new concept or new car models for this one, like we were seeing in the SRO event. But nonetheless, it's going to be a great one.
Yep, and also if people like just local events, if people didn't know, ARCA West, they're running round 8 of 9 at All-American Speedway, just to let people know if they want to tune in. It's on Saturday evening. It's actually 10 p.m. Eastern. The race is at All-American Speedway, Roseville, California. Round 8 of 9 for the West Series, which if you tune in on Track Pass, you can watch that event. And stay tuned for tomorrow on the WRM Twitter. That's the entry lists for the Cup and Xfinity Series will be out. If people didn't know, I'm the one that posts them. If people were wondering who posts all these entry lists and starting lineups, because I don't even know how I do it sometimes. I just post the starting lineups and entry lists. Yeah, so stay tuned on the WRM Twitter and Instagram to see the starting lineups for different series and the entry lists. Stay tuned for that tomorrow when the NASCAR entry lists are out. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, I mean, we had
Yeah.
a very chaotic weekend of racing. I mean, for the events we had, it wasn't too much, but it's a good thing I got my papers on Saturday morning.
Yeah, you got until the Cup race. We had to wait just because of we just had to. Yeah, the Cup race was not cooperating yesterday. At least the weather today cooperated.
Somewhat, it almost did. At least we got enough racing to move on from Talladega.
Yeah, because we're heading to the Roval.
Rain or shine, will be fine.
Yeah, and then after that, they would head to Texas. Hopefully Texas has better weather than last year, because last year at Texas, we were here waiting till Wednesday to get racing. And remember the Tuesday evening before the race, Joseph, we made podcast 82A and 82B the next day. Remember 82?
Felt like we could not drop the ball.
Nope.
It was a very 2020-esque week, whatever it was. It felt like went from Thursday or Friday, went all the way to Wednesday night.
But like, remember back in this was before I had my job. I had that beard that was big. I remember just being there. We're like just waiting
for the race to happen.
But we're just waiting. We're like, really? Yeah. But at least Talladega's over with. Heading to the Roval. Entry lists will be posted tomorrow, and I will post them on Twitter just to let people know that I'm the one that posts that. If people are wondering who keeps posting these entry lists and starting lineups, I'm the one that does it, because when I do it, I put it on my own Twitter and my Facebook and my Instagram. So I'm the one managing that and manage some of the breaking news, like when Joseph, he sleeps in, he asked me to cover stuff.
Yeah, especially all the junior formula races.
Yeah.
The championships. At least we're almost done with those.
Yep, because we have F1 to finish there, and Indy Lights had a championship.
Yes, congratulations to Kyle Kirkwood of
Andretti Autosport,
Florida. Andretti Autosport, another championship. For Andretti Autosport, and of course Kyle Kirkwood gets one done. Let's not look away from him. As much as I'm excited to see Roman Grosjean go to IndyCar or go to Andretti Autosport to compete in IndyCar,
but
let's look at Kyle Kirkwood for a little bit. And he's also competing in sports car races. He's under a contract for Lexus GT3 for the Vassar Sullivan team. Hey, that's a familiar name in IndyCar. So
and also Kyle Kirkwood. Yep, Kyle Kirkwood, he was a rookie also. It was his first season because he was supposed to run his rookie year last year, but, Indy Lights was canceled because COVID-19, if people didn't remember. That season got canceled. Then they got to 2021. Yeah, so he won Rookie of the Year and the championship. He won the championship first season. Was solid. Yeah, that championship ended yesterday with Indy Pro 2000 which Indy Pro 2000, just to say, Christian Rasmussen, rookie in that season, where he's
Denmark.
Yep, he ended up winning for the J. Howard development team. And then in the USF 2000 was Kiko Porto. He ended up winning the championship in the USF 2000 championship. Congrats to all three drivers. That's solid seasons.
The road to Indy is a very quick one. If you do very well, you never know what's going to happen. Just ask Colton Herta or some of these other guys like Joseph Newgarden, and he'll tell you. But, what else was I going to say? I was going to say something, but I forgot. Well, I think this is probably good to end this podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking up late with us. I know it's almost midnight our time, Justin. I know it's knocking on the door Tuesday where you're at.
Yep, in 10 minutes. Yep, 10 minutes from now. But
other than New Year's Eve, midnight, so getting late for us.
No, it's not like that one day, May 29th, that people were celebrating outside my grandparents' house when it was midnight. Other than that, It's not midnight. It's not New Year's Eve. We're not January 1st, 2022. That's in a few months. But other than that, yep. Tune into all the races this weekend with sports cars and stock cars and open wheel and local racing like the ARCA West Series. They're round 8 of 9, so heading towards the end of that championship. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching the Below the O-Line podcast for my partners, Daniel Ford and Justin Hebber. I am Joseph Lane Palmer. We're going to sign off. We'll see you guys next week for episode 132. Thank you all for staying up late for this episode.